This this is a Scotch Bonnet, and if you grew up in a Ghanaian kitchen, this pepper probably raised you. We see it show up many times in our mother's stews, in the jollof that we eat when we go to parties. It was in the soups, the grilled meats, the sauces on the side. I mean, it was practically everywhere. It was so present that you probably never stopped to think about it. Most people outside West Africa know Scotch Bonnet as a hot pepper. And yes, that's what we love. It practically brings the heat. But that's like saying the ocean is wet, right? It's technically true, but it's completely missing the point. Scotch Bonnets, they have this flavor. It's very complex. You know, there's a sweetness underneath the heat. When you cook with it, it does not just make food spicy. It makes the food taste more like itself, right? It amplifies everything around it. In Ghanaian cooking, Scotch bonnet is not a condiment or an addition. It's the structure, right? It's part of the structure. It's just as fundamental as salt. Let's try this. Try to imagine jollof rice without it, or try making light soup without it, or maybe shito without pepper. You basically cannot, because without heat, Ghanaian food does not taste like Ghanaian food. And yet, we don't really talk about it this way. Nobody really treats it as a serious ingredient worth understanding. I think Scotch bonnet deserves the same attention that the food world gives the jalapenos from Mexico, or Szechuan peppers from China, or say the bedside chili from Thailand. It is just as complex and important like the rest. And in Ghanaian food, I think is irreplaceable. Today I'm making something very simple. Basically white rice, pan fried chicken and some vegetables. Nothing complicated or complex. But the center of this dish is the pepper sauce. Because the chicken is just as good as what you put on it. And what I'm putting on it today is the Scotch bonnet. I'm blending Scotch bonnet with onions, garlic, some spring onions. I wouldn't say think of this as a recipe, because every Ghanaian household has their own version of how they make this. And the ratios change. Some people can add tomatoes to it to bring down the heat. But my version here is leaning heavy on the peppers, because I want to taste it, not just feel it. We want to cook this down enough to take off the raw edge, but we don't want to kill the freshness, right? The heat should bloom when you eat it, not hit you immediately. And that's the difference between a good pepper sauce. It's not just hot. The chicken is simple. We season it with salt, pan fry it to get that crispy golden skin. Right? The magic happens when we put the chicken in the sauce and allow the sauce to marinate in. Right? The chicken is tender, it's nice. Adding it to the pepper sauce makes it a whole different experience. Right? There's a moment in pan frying where you just have to wait. Right? The pan is doing the work. The heat is doing the work. Your job is to just leave it alone and know when to move it. After pan frying the chicken, we go in with the pepper sauce, which I forgot to press record on the camera. But yeah, you get the point. You go in with the pepper sauce and allow it to start frying. You want to use the base of the fried chicken to start the sauce, right? And immediately the sugars in the Scotch bonnet start to caramelize. This deepens the colors. When I plate, I think about what I want someone to feel before they even pick up a fork. The color of the pepper sauce against the rice, the crispy skin on the chicken catching the light. The details matter. Not because it needs to look perfect, but because The care you put into presentation tells someone something, that this was made with intention, this was made for you. I've been thinking a lot about the ingredients we take for granted. The ones that are so familiar, we forget they are extraordinary. Scotch Bonnet is one of them. It is in everything we eat, and we barely give it a second thought. But when we slow down and actually pay attention to it, the flavor, the color, the heat, the way it interacts with everything that it touches, then I realized that it's one of the most interesting ingredients in our food. Nobody is talking about it in that way. Not here, not anywhere. I think we need to change that. Not just for Scotch bonnets per se, but for all ingredients that define Ghanaian food. The ones that are hiding in plain sight. The ones that the world has not noticed yet. This is rice, chicken, and pepper sauce. Some carrots on the side and some green onions. Simple food made with attention. That's all it takes.